Hey Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalist. So late today, Diddy's team filed a letter to the judge saying that Diddy is not getting fair access to the laptop that they've requested. Now remember when they were having the hearings about whether or not he was going to be granted bail. So that's been about maybe over about 2 weeks when it all started. Diddy's attorneys, his legal team, brought up the issue back then and they were supposed to have it resolved. So here's the latest from today. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are asking the judge to grant him access to a laptop to assist his defense. Combs, the 55-year-old rapper, record producer, charged with trafficking in September. It says the indictment accuses him of running a criminal enterprise over several years that involves coercing individuals participate in various acts. So we all know the story. But here's the key. Combs' lawyers filed a letter to District Judge Arun Subramanian on Wednesday. The defense wants the Metropolitan Detention Center to provide Combs with a laptop prepared by the government. The document also requests that Combs have access to the laptop in his unit, consistent with the way other inmates on the unit are permitted to use their laptops. Combs was first provided with the government laptop on November 25 to review discovery, take notes related to his case, and otherwise assist in his defense. His lawyers allege that he has not been given the laptop again since that day, despite numerous inquiries. Government officials allegedly told the defense that Combs can only use the laptop in the video conference room during select times when legal staff is available or in the legal visiting room between 8 and 3:30 p.m. Combs' lawyers called the restrictions untenable. They also allege that these conditions have not been issued to any other inmate in the unit. The conditions force Combs to choose between using the laptop and meeting with his attorneys, according to the document. Combs has requested to be released on bail multiple times, all of which have been denied. And actually, he still has the ability to appeal to a higher court. During the appeal, he had started the appeal process. I forget which court he was appealing to. However, they paused it because, with Judge Subramanian being the new judge, he was going to rehear, the new details for the bail package and everything. So because he was appearing before the new judge, which was his third attempt, he paused that other appeal to I forget which district. I apologize, you guys. But anyway, so he does have the ability to appeal again. Now, will he? Who knows? I mean, at this point, it's pretty evident it's going to take an act of Congress to get him, out on bail. So, why waste the money? Focus on your legal case at this point. They're not letting you out, sir. And to be honest, I don't think you're ever going to see the light of day at this point. Initially, I did think that Subramanian was going to let him out because he was entertaining the apartment and the security that they were going to put in place. But it looks like nah, it's a hard no. I've also attached the letter that his legal team submitted to the judge today, and I'll attach the recording at the end of this video. But jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts. I mean, to be fair, he should have access to anything that any other inmate has access to, whether we think he's guilty or not. You kind of just want to be fair so that they don't have any leg to stand on to request a dismissal, which his attorneys are constantly, all of these little technicalities, they're constantly bringing up issues, saying that this could lead to a dismissal, or, we're going to request that this be dismissed if the government doesn't comply and do what they're supposed to do. So anyway, I will keep you posted. Please don't forget to hit that like button, jump in the comments, and the actual letter is going to be attached at the end of this. Bye. Dear Judge Subramanian, we write on behalf of Mr. Combs to request that the court direct the MDC to provide Mr. Combs with the laptop prepared for him by the government and allow him to use the laptop on his unit consistent with the way other inmates on his unit are permitted to use their laptops. 2 months after he was charged and detained on November 25, 2024, the government provided the MDC with a laptop that Mr. Combs can use to review discovery, take notes related to his case, and otherwise assist in his defense. In the 9 days since then, Mr. Combs has still not been provided with the laptop despite numerous inquiries by defense counsel. Finally, this morning, the government informed defense counsel that after consultation with MDC counsel, Mr. Combs has two options related to his laptop. One, he will only be provided with the laptop in the unit's video teleconference room during select times when legal staff is available and when that room is not otherwise being used during other inmates' legal calls. Or two, he will only be provided with the laptop in the legal visiting room between the hours of 8 to 3:30 p.m., but not both. These restrictions are untenable and, from what we understand, not required of any other inmate on Mr. Combs' unit. They significantly limit the time available for Mr. Combs to use the laptop and force Mr. Combs to choose between using the laptop and meeting with his attorneys, who often meet with Mr. Combs over video teleconference. There is also no justification for these restrictions. To be clear, the discovery provided on Mr. Combs' laptop does not contain any evidence designated as attorney's possession only, and therefore does not contain anything that could potentially risk the safety or privacy of alleged victims or witnesses. CDK 226. While the terms of the protective order disallow Mr. Combs from disclosing the discoveries to third parties, there is no reason to believe that Mr. Combs is going to show it to other inmates such that a departure from normal MDC practice is warranted. Thus, there is no conceivable reason why such restrictions should be placed on Mr. Combs, nor could any reason outweigh his significant interest in reviewing discovery and assist in preparing his defense. Moreover, given the government's effort to surreptitiously monitor and record his handwritten legal notes, Moreover, given the government's efforts to surreptitiously monitor and record his handwritten legal notes, Mr. Combs' need for a laptop to take legal notes free from government surveillance is heightened. In addition, last night, defense counsel learned that the MDC has been providing the prosecution team, and not via the filter team, copies of MDC attorney visitation forms. Who Mr. Combs meets with in connection with his legal defense, including potential experts and investigators, is potentially privileged. Even if not privileged, this level of surveillance offends due to process and hampers his ability to prepare his defense. The MDC has informed defense counsel that it produces such information whenever a defendant complains about inability to access his attorneys. Here, however, the defense has not taken issue with Mr. Combs' ability to meet with his attorneys in person at the MDC. Rather, Mr. Combs' inability to prepare for his defense stems from the restrictions the government has placed on his ability to receive and review discovery and his inability to keep his privileged legal notes confidential. There is no conceivable reason why the government should know who and when Mr. Combs meets with in connection with his legal defense. Accordingly, we respectfully request that the court direct the MDC to, number one, provide Mr. Combs with the laptop that has been prepared and provided by the government, and to allow him to use it in the unit, and number two, cease sending the government copies of attorney visitation forms. The government has indicated that it intends to file a response, and that was respectfully submitted.